right, example 2 here. So we want to use vertex form to graph this parabola. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up, and I'm going to leave space to complete the square, right? So I'm going to put a blank in there, and then I'm going to scoot the +1 over. So the value that I need there is I need half of that second term, so 3 over 2, and then I want to square it, right? So it's going to give me 9 over 4, 9/4. Okay, so then if I add 9/4 there, I want to subtract 9/4 here. All right, and so now I can complete the square, or I just did complete the square. Now I can kind of execute it, so I can put an X here, take this middle sign, so it's going to be minus, and then I'm going to take the square root of 9/4, right, which gives me 3/2. All right, and then I'm just gonna do 1 minus 9/4, so that'd be 4/4 minus 9/4, which would be negative 5/4, right? And just to show the work there, that would be 4, right? All right, so now we have everything we need to graph. We know the x value of a vertex h is positive 3/2. K is negative 5/4. So K keeps the same sign as whatever that value is. H, always do the opposite of whatever that is, right? So our vertex is 3/2, negative 5/4. So we can graph that. Let's see, 3/2 on the x-axis is going to be right between 1 and 2, and negative 5/4 on the y. So that's going to be just a little past, down from -1, right? So it'll be somewhere right in there. All right, so let's see what else. Our y-intercept, it's easy here. It's -1, or excuse me, +1. So, and that makes sense, right? Because it's facing up. So the vertex, we're going up from the vertex to get the y-intercept, and that's consistent with what we have, because we have a is 1, +1. So now for our x-intercepts, I'm going to take, let's see, what color do I want to use? I use red again. So for the x-intercept, I'm going to put set f of x equal to 0. Keep it in vertex form. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 5/4 to both sides. So we get 5/4 equals the quantity of x minus 3/2 squared. And then we're going to take the square root of both sides. Square and the square root cancel out. We get a plus or minus here. So the square root of 5/4, square root of 5 doesn't simplify, but the square root of 4 is 2, so we can make this plus or minus √5 over 2. All right, then we can add 3/2 to both sides. So we get 3 over 2 plus or minus √5 over 2 equals x, right? Those are two values. So we can do this a couple different ways. Remember, we could also, since they have a common denominator, we could set it up like this, right? That means the same thing, but one way or the other, we're gonna have to graph these. So, so we can approximate these in our calculator. So let's see, if this is what x equals, then I can make 3 plus √5 over 2 and plug that in my calculator, and then 3 minus √5 over 2 and plug that in my calculator. All right. right, so plugged them in my calculator, got approximately 2.6 for the 3 plus root 5 over 2, and 0.38 for the 3 minus root 5 over 2, right? So so 2.6 is going to be somewhere right in there, okay, and 3.8, or 0.38 I should say, is going to be right in there. All right, so we can use our axis of symmetry to find another point. Ooh, I messed up. A little bit off on that. Let's see. There it is. All right, and that would be x equals 3/2. And so we can come 1.5 over here to find a 5th point. And now we can graph right. All right, so there's our graph.